You know, there's old wisdom. I tell you, if you want to accomplish anything in life, you pick a goal. A goal. When I was very young, one of my goals was to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It's one of the 7 summits. Half the people make it. And when you reach the top, they tell you within 20 minutes, you are subject to acute high altitude sickness. And if you don't adjust very quickly, it's critical. You're done. Now, what would take me up to that mountain, and how would I do it? What would be the key to try and do that? I believe for the longest time in goals. But goals, if you really think about it, are short term, aren't they? Goals are very short term. Think of people that are winners and losers in the game. Were they not going for the same goal? Has there not been a goal in your life that when you reached it, you go, whoa, now what? Have you ever been depressed? What do I do now? I had a very good friend. His goal was to get his PhD. His whole focus was to finish his dissertation. He worked nonstop every day. He kept track. He used a calendar method. And when he finally reached it, and he recognized for this amazing feat, he was depressed. Why? Because it should not have been about the goal. What you really should be thinking about is a system. A system. Now, a system is a little different. There's a wonderful book out called Finite and Infinite Games. Now, what you do with a system is you practice, and you get better, and you never finish the game. Never. Now, how is that game determined? What game are you going to choose? Well, most people think about performance goals. I say, don't think of performance, think of identity. Think of who you want to be. So, for example, I used to love the run. My goal was to run the LA Marathon. And I did. And okay, I'll never do it again. And of course, I ran another one and another one. So I'm setting all these goals. But really, the goal should not have been about running a marathon. It should have been about being a runner. My identity should have been about being a runner. I had a goal of reading a book once a week. So I'd pick a book and I'd read it. Yes, check. Well, now what? Well, I got another book. The goal should not be about reading a book. It should become a reader. Define who you want to be. What's the most important thing you want to be? And make it your core. And everyone will see that. What is the identity that you want? Make that your core. And then everything will flow from that. So it should not be performance or outcome based. It should be identity based. Now, how do you change your identity? Have you picked it? You decided you want to be a runner, you want to be a reader. You do it with what's called small wins. Small wins will propel you. Think of this like an ice cube. Suppose you had an ice cube sitting in a cold room and you could see your breath. It's 26 degrees. 27 degrees. It's still cold. It's sitting there. 28 degrees. Still an ice cube. 29 degrees. Nothing's happening. 30. Still some. 31. What happens at 32? It starts to melt. Think about it. A 1% change started the whole process. You all know how a bamboo grows? 5 years it's under the water, developing its root system. 5 years. And then all of a sudden, In a matter of 9 weeks, it grows over 10 feet. 9 weeks. You can see that pattern in everything that you know. Look at cancer. I was told men, especially, we all have cancer. But when does it happen? It comes out of nowhere. It hits you. So small changes have dramatic impact. But the key is you got to stay with the small change. You have to stay with it. How many people have started something and then you didn't see immediate results and you stopped? We all do. Hang in there. You're going to go through the plateau of disappointment, but it will be like an arc that goes up like this. It'll be the accumulation just like the bamboo. And it doesn't have to be very big. The small change you make can be very small, will have a dramatic impact. In the late 1970s, the British cycling team was one of the worst teams in the world. They were so bad, bike manufacturers did not want to sell to them because they didn't want to ruin their sales. They were horrible. So they hired a coach, and his whole goal was to do small, marginal changes. Small. Everything. Between the seat, seat, alcohol on the tire, new outfits for the cyclists, every small 1% change. He even hired a surgeon to tell them how to wash their hands because he believed it would get cold. Pillows for them to sleep. 4 years later, he called it small marginal gains. 4 years later, for the first time, they won 16 Olympic medals. 4 years later in London, they won 68 Olympic medals, broke 70 world records, and started a streak of winning a Tour de France that they had never done before, and they won 5 out of 6 years. All with very small changes. I made it to Africa. And I was greeted by the Swahili. And I said, hey, Abu, Babu. I go, I find this Babu. Old guy. Old senior. They didn't think the senior was going to make it. Hey, old guy. Now remember, it's a heck of a hike. And you get up at midnight and you climb 4,000 feet. And you try and get there by sunrise. You stay there for a short period of time and you come right off. But the one thing they said that I always remember, in Swahili, they said, poli, poli. Poli, poli in Swahili means slow, but constantly moving. So if you try to change your view of who you are, look at a system, and believe small changes will have a dramatic impact, there is nothing